Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai, Kol Layim La, Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shamalak Yahushai, Bashem Hakadash. Double honors to the apostle and elders, millstone, peace, citation, and hope for elect. Shalom. And here's an article from Insider.com. This was posted about yesterday, 2:06 p.m., July 9th. So it says a 911 dispatcher who refused to send an ambulance to a bleeding woman unless she agreed to go to a hospital has been charged with involuntary manslaughter. So this was by Yelena Dejanova. It says 911 operator in Pennsylvania faces an involuntary manslaughter charge after denying a woman an ambulance. Kelly Chanel called 911 in July 2020 on behalf of her mother, who she said was bleeding from the rectum. But Leon Price, the 911 dispatcher, refused to send an ambulance unless Kronk said she'd go to the hospital. And a little bit going into the article, it says a criminal complaint filed within the Western District of Pennsylvania last month says Leon Price, 50, on a 911 call between him and Kelly Tichenel, refused to send an ambulance to her mother unless she indicated that she'd go to the hospital. Tichenel made the 911 call in July 2020, according to court documents in the complaint. Tichenel's attorney said she described her 56-year-old mother, Diana Kronk, as jaundiced, incoherent, and bleeding from the rectum to Price. But Price told her bluntly that no emergency services such as ambulance would be dispatched to her mother because it would be a waste of resources, the complaint says. No requested emergency services came that day as a result of defendant Price's action, and as a proximate and/or direct result of the lack of emergency medical care, Diana Kronk died, according to the complaint. If Price had sent over an emergency, almost like an ambulance or some kind of emergency relief, the complaint says Kronk would have at least suffered less and might have had more dignified death. The lawsuit also says Price must have been aware of the gravity of the situation due to, in quote, Tichenel's pleading tone and description of what was seriously wrong with her mother. In quote, Price had no authority by statute or otherwise to superciliously deny services to Kronk or Tichenel, the lawsuit argues. Kronk died the day after. In quote, I believe in my heart that my mother would still be alive if he would have sent an ambulance, Tichenel said. According to the Washington Post, in quote, it shouldn't have been his decision. He should have sent an ambulance and let the professionals decide if she should go to the hospital or not. 2 years later, Greene County, Pennsylvania officials have charged Price with involuntary manslaughter, the Post reported, for which the maximum penalty is a $10,000 fine along with 5 years in prison. So, with that, I'll bring out some scriptures and bring out a precept, Lord willing, you hopeful that can be edified. Isaiah 32:9 says, Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless woman, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. And more than likely, that woman was mostly a single, mother, and seemed like she had a daughter. Most likely, she didn't have a man in her life, so this is what I will assume. This is what I will pretty much speculate for the most part, because a lot of this women, not in America, they have this whole feminist mindset where they don't need a man, and they live by that ideology, and they go by the philosophy of of the serpent and the ways of Esau, which is thinking that they're equal to men, or they think they're superior to men. and it mentioned that she was bleeding, within the rectum, and that she needed assistance. You see, these women think that they all big and bad. They think that they tough and all that, but she needed the hospital. She needed some emergency services, and this was during the time of the C-19. They mentioned in the article that she needed those services, and eventually that mother died, and the man didn't send her the emergency services that she requested, because more than likely she probably couldn't even walk to the hospital. Probably that's how much pain she was in. So imagine how much more when it's coming to Jacob's Trouble, when you're gonna have emergency services that don't pretty much send you the assistance that you need at the moment, because they gotta assist so many other people. And most of these people, a lot of the times, the reason why they go to hospitals is because of, mostly because of the bad health, because they have poor diets, and they don't fast, they don't, use the herbs, they don't know how to do those things. And that's the reason why they end up in these hospitals all the time, suffering from, high blood pressure, gout, and diabetes. They're like one of the top 3 ways that, especially amongst so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, that's those top 3 type of diseases that our people be dying from and suffering from if they don't die on the spot. And pretty much like, yeah, she didn't receive the benefits, and that's what happened to her. And in the article mentioned that if she would have received the benefits, she would have probably been alive, or at least if she died right there on the spot, it would have been a dignified death, as they said. But it was all the will of the Heavenly Father, because you can only imagine, if it was Jacob's Trouble, she would have had not received any type of benefits like that, and now we in the time period where there's cars that are like the gas prices going up, and people can't really hardly fill their tanks when it's coming to them doing emergency services. So yeah, so companies are gonna slowly take their time on doing like certain services for certain people. They're not gonna really be assisting people as much as they used to before, because of these high gas prices. Yeah, so there's gonna be big delays in emergency services, So that's pretty much what we're coming into. It's gonna get worse over time. One more precept, Matthew 24 verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Exactly. I mean, pretty much when you're an emergency dispatcher, you don't know the people that you're speaking to on the phone, so you gotta answer all these 911 calls, and you gotta go as far as like pretty much answering what they need and sending them the services that they need, things of that nature. And pretty much like, we're in a time period that people becoming heartless, people getting cold, people just caring about themselves. So, and that was pretty much cold that dispatcher, pretty much did. But in the end of the day, it was all the will of the Heavenly Father anyway. So, and that's showing that, these women that still thinking that they don't need a man and things of that nature, it really shows you that you need a man. Because probably if she had a man in her life, more than likely he would have found it a way to assist her in her time of, hospital need, So, with that being said, hope I made the lesson edifying. Let's give all glory, praise, and honor to Adonai Yahweh, Bashim Shamalak Yoshab, Bashim Kadash. Double honors to the apostle, Elizabeth Mills, Osman, peace, citation, hope for that. Yabashima Shababakasha, Shalakriam, Arawayam, Wako, Ayam, Wa, Ababa, Boa, Shalom.